Hi, I'm Joe Feeks, editor of Pig Health Today, and with me is Edison Magalhaes. He's a research student and also a veterinarian at Iowa State University. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we're going to talk about wean-to-finish mortality, but when you're talking about wean-to-finish, usually anything that is affecting the health and performance of animals in that stage of production is probably determined much earlier in the cycle. Is that right?
We are conducting a specific objective that is to develop data-driven predictors of wean-to-finish mortality. So in this case, what we are trying to do is basically divided the project into separate parts. The first one is to develop a statistical model that will match and merge data from different sources of information in a production system. So basically we have information from health, from economics, from the production, and we have the precision livestock farming technologies that are coming up also. So if the farm uses that, we can apply all of that also. So basically in a sow farm, they have all this kind of information, and also at the wean-to-finish, the growing sites also. And the first objective was to develop a model that will capture all of that and match and merge all of that in a final cohort report that we will provide information from service to market, but not only production data, but the economic data also, the health information, and if they have smart technologies, we can include that. So if they measure the water consumption daily on the wean-to-finish barn, we can include that, all of that information in the final closeout. So the groups that went to the market for that production system will have the information aggregated automatically with this software. With that final spreadsheet, the cohort report, the main objective is to do a statistical analysis on it. So each variable that this production system records, we can measure specific parameters intervention, the intervention of specific variables on the wean-to-finish mortality. And after that, we can also do a multivariable analysis to predict mortality downstream.
Well, Edison, this sounds like a tremendous undertaking. I'm assuming you're not doing all this work alone. Who else are you working with?
It's a 5-year big project, and we are included in that. Actually, Kansas State is participating, Iowa State, Purdue University. So for the Iowa State team, there's a lot of objectives. With that data, we want to provide a tool that the production system can use, and they are going to make the answers. Mm-hmm. So because today we have spreadsheets and information that are separate, but they are not aggregated, mm-hmm, and provides information for the production system. So the main objective is to give that opportunity to them so they can make the answer. So what is my wean-to-finish mortality now? What is impacting? What should I do to improve? Where should I focus? So we need to start that, having all the information aggregated firstly.
Tell me about your multi-year study. I believe this started in April of 2017 and involved more than like 700 closeouts. Is that right?
Yeah, we did this study for this production system specifically. So we capture and merge information like I said, and merge all that information in the closeouts from 2017 until 18. So with that, we were able to create this final cohort report and measure the mortality, measuring specific parameters on mortality for this production system.
So in other words, numbers from breed to wean might have an impact on wean to finish. Is that a fair conclusion?
Yeah, so groups that were weaned from sow farms that we could compare the sow farms that didn't have the air filtration, and then they have the date that they implemented the air filtration in the barn. So we could compare, for an example, how was the wean-to-finish mortality of those groups before and after. We could also, and we could see that when after the implementing the air filtration, the average of was 11% before, and after was 8%. We could see difference from the groups for specific parameters also.
And all of this work was done with Iowa Select Farms?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Were there any surprises?
Now with this tool, they can measure specific parameters that they want to test. So a PRRS mass vaccination protocol, for example, they can include that in the model. So the first step that we did with them is to make this tool available and now we are implementing, they are recording some specific things to do that. For example, in 2019, we did another analysis from 2019, January to June, and they implemented a few variables now that they have the model. They recorded information from diagnostic at the growing phase, and we could track that, the diagnostics on those groups, and compare groups that had E. coli during the growing phase or salmonella. What the production system wants to record, we are able to give that information that in the cohort report as a tool. So now, basically now they are making the questions and now implementing the real applicability of the model.
And what does this model actually look like, or what does the tool actually look like? Is this a cloud-based system where you can enter in information about your operation?
Yeah, the first step now, we develop a model that the production system needs to send reports. So they have the 5 or 6 spreadsheets that they basically use that comes from MetaFarms. In that specific case, they have information from the diagnostics, from the VDLs. So they already have these 5 or 6 spreadsheets, and they just send it to us. And we have a SAS script, and we put all of that together and run the SAS script. And in the end, we have the final report done, the cohort report done. But in the future, our main goal is to provide a platform, online platform at the Iowa State website, where they can go in the website and upload the report. And if we have access straight to the MetaFarms database, for an example, and the VDL, we can also do that. They don't even need to do that. So they just can ask the report, and the system is going to do everything, going to MetaFarms database and bring the information, going to diagnostic information. We need to create a pattern of spreadsheets or data set and sources of information. And after that, we have a SAS script that does everything automatically. And we just put that on the cloud. But now this first step, we are doing, let's say, with 5 or 6 spreadsheets that they send to us from different resources that they have, from different sources.
So I want to make sure I understand how this works. Let's say I'm a producer. My wean-to-finish mortality is higher than it should be, let's say 9 or 10%. Mm-hmm. I can take this information and load it into this model, and then as a result of that, with Iowa State's help, might be able to identify some other segments or problems in production in breed to wean, for example, that if I correct that problem, it might help me on the back end. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the final idea. That's the final goal. Anything that they want to compare, or any management that they are recording, so if they are recording gilt management A or B, and they put that in data as information, we can record that and include that in the model and provide information on what was the impact on the outcome, in this case for wean-to-finish mortality. But we don't want to stop only that. We have the outcome is the wean-to-finish mortality, but we want to include average daily gain as an outcome, and also provide an economic analysis, a cost-benefit analysis. So let's say that this production system will have information of this management A is better than the B. We are going to show the average, the mean value, but we're also going to show how is that in money. So the difference in money and the average on value.
So when would you expect this to be on the Iowa State University website? Is there a timeline?
The main goal for this website, this online tool in the future, it will be to have information from different sources, from different softwares, that someone can just go step in and include the data, and we don't need to build the script again. So we want to have a SAS script in the end that will cover all the softwares. And now we just have the softwares for that specific production system.
So in the meantime, for any producer who would be interested in exploring this, what specific reports do they need to send in, and where should they be sent?
Basically, what we are asking are the production reports, so nursery, wean-to-finisher, and finisher closeouts that they have, the sow performance monitor. So those 4 reports that I told you, they are from production data, and also VDL information, diagnostic information. We can match and merge that information from that group where that happened to all of the closeout. Also, information that they provide to, for example, the MSHIMP report, so they record the health status for some diseases weekly at the sow farms. We can also include that information in the group, that classification. Structure information, so if they want to compare for example, for this production system, the feeder type, if they record that, they can compare the feeder type, the drinker type, what is the difference between the curtain barns and the tunnel barns, the air filtration. So basically, management, structure, health, economic, and production. Where they come from this production system, it depends on the software, but basically we are trying to cover all of that and capture and merge in a final cohort report, and provide a statistical analysis also.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a tremendous and really valuable production tool because, I think the industry certainly tends to focus on the numbers for different segments of production, but what's happening in one segment may have started 2 segments ago. So this sounds like it'll bring a lot of these moving parts together.
Yeah, exactly. If you look for health information, for example, when you merge information from the growing groups, so diagnostic information, and you merge with information that happened in the weaning phase or the sow farm, we can see that some of the groups that had some problems at the growing phase, they had a health status that was classified as epidemic or with some problems.